by a Cubs fan recently. I take a writing class in Wrigleyville, so I was wearing a little hipster t-shirt and carrying a messenger bag. And it was a night game during my writing class, so I had to go through swaths and swaths of Cubs fans. Actually, it was a day game. They'd just gotten out. And motorcycle break. So I'm looking like an annoying hipster, and I walk through a few hundred Cubs fans. And finally, I gotta go off the sidewalk because they have those beanbag things they're throwing. These guys in their Cubs jerseys, and the Cubs insignia is painted on a little beanbag box. And I'm walking in the gutter to get around, and one of them points at me and goes, "That's right! Don't get too close, faggot!" They were playing a game called cornhole. I made the mistake of listening to talk radio. Have you guys ever done that? I was listening to talk radio, and this guy had the nerve to say, "Do white people need a holiday?" You know? Like, Hispanic people got Cinco de Mayo, black people got Black History Month. Should we give one to white folks? White people have a holiday. It's called payday.
Oh, yeah!
And for 2 weeks, will I get paid $1,200 for doing absolutely nothing? Oh, it hurts. I hate white people. I just want to make that clear for that punchline. That was in no way an indulgent joke. I'm pointing out the fact that we're all hypocritical douchebags. Douche cakes, even. Douche that was taken out of the bag, made with some yeast, made it into a little cake. That's how douchey we are. So yeah, I'm about 30 years old. I'm married. I have a child, and I still get called a faggot about once a week. Another time I got called a faggot, I was riding the red line late at night, listening to my iPod, reading a Hellboy comic book, big mistake. A group of people came in from a sports bar onto the train. I could tell they'd come from a sports bar because a cloud of Axe body spray followed behind them. STDs diving in and out of the cloud like dolphins at play. And there were 3 couples, 3 fellas, 3 ladies, and one of the girls sits next to me. And she did this thing that attractive people do to ugly people. It's unnecessary, ladies, where she kept looking over at me and going, "Ugh. Because she had to sit next to me and I might be turned on or something." So she's doing that and I could feel it coming. But I'm listening to my iPod and all of a sudden she turns, faces me and says loud and goes, "Oh look, now they're making nerds out of fags." And for a second I was like, oh God, please tell me I heard a British accent and I appeared to be some sort of cigarette gentleman sitting next to her, but no, she said that. And I should have just, kept thinking stupid logic like that, but I did what every nerd does. I blurted out a comeback I've been sitting on for 20 years for such an occasion. It would not work well within the context. I turned to her and I said, "This coming from the Voltron of venereal disease!" Didn't go over well at all. They didn't laugh. They didn't get it. But then, the guy who was dating the girl sitting next to me started to smile. He got it, and he explained it to his party in lieu of pussy that night that I'd implied his girlfriend was a construct of venereal disease, allowed to walk sentient about Chicago from sports bar to train car. So he explains it, and no one's laughing. The smile has disappeared from his face, and I go, oh, he's gonna punch the fuck out of my nuts tonight. And then, out of nowhere, like Don Rickles in his prime, this homeless man caked in piss and dandruff goes, "He just called him a clap monster!" Thank you all for these wacky science fiction shows with me, The Lost, The Battlestar Galactica, anybody?
Yeah.
I love them, but I'm always terrified that something is going to go wrong in the writer's room, like the producers are going to step in and stop it, and they're going to say, "You know what, we're cutting this short. It's all going to end in a dream, like General Hospital, where a little kid wakes up from a coma, and it's a little snow globe, and it's the island from Lost, and oh, there's a polar bear." That has never worked, and I'm constantly afraid it's going to happen. The only time that has ever worked, Super Mario Bros. 2. Because in the first Mario game, it's a little weird. You're a plumber jumping on mushrooms and turtles. But it's linear. You touch a flag and it's over. That's it of the stupid story. Super Mario Brothers 2! You start off falling out of a door in the sky, screaming. You land on the ground and you have to beat back the scary little masked kid from Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me with fucking radishes. And there is a bird with a vagina in its face that rockets forth its unborn children at you until you pick them up and beat it to death. If that game didn't end in a dream, you'd be really fucking sad, wouldn't you? Thank goodness Mario woke up the next morning. I'd like to do a couple of really quick Star Wars impressions for you. All right? This first Star Wars impression is Luke Skywalker. If he had gotten a quarter pounder with cheese at the drive-thru, took it all the way home, opened it up, fillet of fish. No. No! That's not true! That's impossible! No! Luke Skywalker, fillet of fish. My next impression, you're familiar with the Sand People, the Tusken Raiders of Star Wars fame? They have the ace bandage wrapped around their head with a little ventilation duct in the face. This is my impression of a sand person shoveling the sand out of his driveway when suddenly he gets a cell phone call from his wife asking for a divorce. Cherubim. Check me out, Dan Telfer,